Hello! So, this is this week's update on what got done during the week. So, what happened this week? Well, it was a pretty big week. This week, I focused on putting together a pipeline for processing the audio. Now, let me clarify what I mean by that. Let me also make sure I don't look like a hobo on camera. So, Alexa has specific audio requirements, both in terms of the file format and also in terms of loudness level. And so, what I've done is I have sat down and put a whole bunch of time into, once I have a set of WAV files, once I have a set of initial audio that I like, that I've done all my post-processing on, that I'm happy with, then what I can do now is I press a button and all of those individual WAV files then get batch processed by Reaper to go into the correct file format, so they meet Alexa's specifications. They then get tested for loudness levels to make sure that they match Alexa's requirements for that. So each individual file, I get a report back. I make sure that they sit inside the limits. That's all automated. And then I sync them up to S3, to the location that I expect them in. So that's all pretty specific to the skill that I'm working on at the moment, and I'm looking forward to being able to share a little bit more about that in the very near future. But it's a really simple use case, and I think it's probably more universal in its appeal than the other stuff that I'm working on. So that's why I've focused on getting that out the door first. And that skill now is like, I'm just waiting on, I've just got to sit down next week and do the text around sort of the description for the skill. So the marketing assets for that. I'm just waiting for the finalized art, and then that's it. It goes out the door. I'm happy with, well, actually that's not quite right. I've also got to do a little bit of implementation just around some user experience stuff, because at the moment, you can open up the skill. In fact, let's have a listen. Let's have a listen to the skill now, sneak peek. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this clearly on camera. Computer, open Daily Boost.
You know, don't destroy yourself to save someone else.
There you go. That's it. And I'll talk a little bit more when the time is right about what's going into that skill, but there's a few other things that I want to do from a coding perspective with that. But I was really happy with the progress that I made on getting that audio pipeline together. I did that from start to finish this week, and I got what I wanted to get done. Now, why do I spend all of this time with automation? Because I did this during the project as well, and I talked about this a little bit. This comes from my experience in enterprise IT. I have always found that whenever I spend some time on automating anything that is going to be repeated over and over and over again, that time pays dividends. That's why I've sat down and put Jenkins build jobs together for all of the skills that I'm doing stuff with, because I don't have to remember how things work. When things are updated, I just go and press the button. So anything that needs to be repeated a number of times, automate it once, and then you save so much time, both in terms of having to do the actual manual labor and also having to remember the steps that go into that. So yeah, that's this week. So next week is some more coding on this skill, and then I think it'll be out the door. I think it'll be out there and awaiting certification, which is exciting times. I've got to revisit now. I'll go and have a look at Alexa's requirements and make sure that they haven't updated their certification rules around what you actually need to do for a skill. But then that'll be it. That'll be first version of it'll be out the door, which I was really happy with. Yeah, so that's this week. Some side news. It's NIDOC week this week. So if you're in Australia, then it's a good time to reflect on our country's history and its intersection with the people who were here before it was colonized by invaders. One way that a friend posted on Facebook about. Hang on, let me start that again. A friend posted on Facebook, I think, a way that's a way of interrogating that is interesting and informative as well, which is have a look have a look at which mob's land you're actually living on. Like, who are the First Nations people who are the traditional owners of the area that you're in? What's their history? And I'll post a website where you can actually go and find that out in your area. It's this interactive searchable map. And then you can go and find information on that. Other than that, if you are an audio person, and there's a fighting chance you are if you're listening to this, Isotope have posted their holiday bundle. It is a huge amount of value for 50 US, $50 US. I've already gone and gotten mine. I highly recommend it. I'm looking forward to playing with especially some of those reverb tools. There's some great stuff in there on all about EQ and placing audio in space, which I'm super in. And by space, I mean in physical 3D space, not out there in space, although, I'm excited about that too. So yeah, so that's it for me. So next week is going to be a little bit of work on Daily Boost, getting that out the door, marketing around that, and then I'm going to switch back to continuing to work on Tavern Blackjack. Exciting times. I hope you are well, and I hope you are safe. Life is a lot right now. Even though we've turned a corner in terms of some things, we've got results for the US election, which are really positive. We're starting to see headlines around vaccines reaching the end of their trials, so maybe we're coming out of a few clouds here. So I hope you're well and you're safe. Talk to you soon.